Imagine discovering that an entire civilization, one that once spanned continents, was quietly erased from history. Not destroyed in war, not wiped out by disease, but deleted. And the last person who claimed to belong to that mysterious civilization died in 1952. Moments before his death, he allegedly revealed a secret so shocking that, if true, it could change everything we think we know about history, a secret about a forgotten empire, an empire called Tartaria. For centuries, old maps from Europe and Asia showed a massive land stretching across northern Asia and parts of Eastern Europe. The name written across that land was Great Tartary. It appeared on maps printed by famous cartographers. It was mentioned in encyclopedias. Travelers wrote about its vast territories, but today, most history books barely mention it. Instead, historians say the word Tartary was simply a vague European term used to describe the unknown lands of Central Asia and Siberia. But some researchers believe something very different. They believe Tartaria was not just a region. They believe it was a lost advanced civilization. And according to a strange story from the mid-20th century, the last living member of that civilization died quietly in 1952, in the early 1950s. An elderly man living in a remote part of Central Asia reportedly claimed he was one of the last descendants of a people called the Tartarians. He spoke of cities buried beneath mud, of enormous buildings powered by strange energy systems, and of an empire that stretched across thousands of miles. Locals said the man spoke several ancient dialects that few people could recognize. He told stories passed down through generations, stories that sounded more like legends than history. But as his health began to fail, the old man reportedly decided to reveal something he had kept hidden for decades. A secret about why Tartaria disappeared. According to those who heard his final words, the old man claimed that Tartaria was once a technologically advanced civilization, not advanced like modern technology with computers and satellites, but advanced in a very different way. He described enormous structures that could capture energy from the atmosphere, cities that required almost no fuel, and transportation systems powered by natural forces. Some modern researchers who believe in the Tartarian theory point to old buildings around the world, structures with massive domes, tall antennas, and unusual metal spires. They claim these buildings were once part of a global energy network, and that the Tartarian civilization had discovered ways to harness free energy from the environment. But if that were true, why did it vanish? The dying man reportedly said that Tartaria did not collapse slowly. It was destroyed by a catastrophic event. Some versions of the story claim he described a massive mud flood, a disaster that buried cities, swallowed buildings, and forced survivors to flee. Supporters of this theory point to strange architectural mysteries around the world. Buildings whose lower floors appear buried underground, windows that sit halfway below street level, and cities where older structures seem partially submerged in earth. They believe these are signs that something dramatic happened in the past, something historians never fully explained. But mainstream historians strongly disagree. They say these features are simply the result of normal urban development, rising street levels, and construction changes over time. Still, the mystery keeps people asking questions. By the late 1800s, the name Tartary had almost completely disappeared from maps. The land once labeled as Tartary was divided into modern nations like Russia, China, Mongolia, and several Central Asian countries. Official history says this happened because explorers gradually mapped the region more accurately. But Tartarian theorists believe something else happened. They believe history itself was rewritten. They argue that the true story of Tartaria was intentionally removed from textbooks. Why? Some say powerful empires wanted control over technology or resources once used by Tartarians. Others believe the truth simply became lost over time. Today, historians and archaeologists say there is no solid evidence that a global Tartarian civilization with advanced technology ever existed. The term Tartary appears frequently in old maps, but historians say it was simply a geographical label, not an empire. Most scholars believe the Tartarian mystery comes from misunderstandings of historical maps, architecture, and cultural myths. But the legend of Tartaria refuses to disappear, because history is full of forgotten cultures, lost cities, and mysteries that once seemed impossible. After all, civilizations like Göbekli Tepe and Machu Picchu were unknown to the modern world until archaeologists rediscovered them, which raises an intriguing question. In 1952, the man who claimed to be the last Tartarian passed away. Whether his story was truth, legend, or simply the imagination of an old man, no one knows for certain. But his final words sparked a mystery that continues to spread across the internet today. A mystery about lost civilizations, hidden history, and the possibility that somewhere beneath the layers of our modern world, the remnants of forgotten empires still exist, waiting to be discovered. Because sometimes the greatest mysteries in history are not the ones we remember. They are the ones we forgot.